You're listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansite.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Hello and good, almost full evening, everybody here on the Jaybird Watching Podcast. I am your host, Craig Borden. All things Toronto Blue Jays right here, having fun, goofing around, preparing for the postseason. Jason Lyons, my co-host with me, as Liz is apparently, attaining a employee function this evening.
Well, it's weird. It's weird when the one of us that had the least amount of job the entire time I've known her has the most amount of work functions after.
I noticed that.
After. So yeah, I mean,
I guess that's a perk of working for a university, Jason. I guess so.
things are going really well out here. The weather has been, for the last number of years in Vancouver here, we've experienced like the best fall. It's still like 24 degrees and wearing shorts, and it's not too hot. Like, it's the perfect golf weather. It's perfect baseball weather.
Agreed.
It's just good to be around. The city feels alive right now. We've got the World Cup coming this year of soccer, and so people are really gearing up for the millions and millions of people that are going to be coming into the city. So yeah, it's a fun time to be in the city. Unfortunately, the Vancouver Canadians did not make the playoffs. I was supposed to go to their last game the other night and couldn't make it, but they had a decent year. But it does allow, for some of those players to move on and move up. I'm sure that Arjun will move up and play still, and I'm sure that our good buddy Nick, he'll probably be off to Texas or to Mexico to go play. So yeah, it's good times and no shortage of a really awesome baseball going on in the majors. Like, this is storybook, this stuff. Like, remember the last couple of years where it's just been boring as hell when it gets to now, not only for the Jays, but there's no real chases and nobody. This is unbelievable. Every league.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So on that, we have another fine gentleman with us here to talk all things baseball. We have former Blue Jay, flamethrower at his time, Bob File. How are we doing, Bob?
Yeah, flamethrower those days. Doing good. I'm sporting the textile baseball hat tonight. The Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science, my alma mater. I was going to wear a Blue Jays hat, but I actually looked at them in my garage, and they're pretty beat up still. I don't think I put one on since 2004. So they're pretty dried up sweat, and they're like cardboard.
That means
now.
they have this weird logo on them too. So there's that.
Well, I like the 2001. That was the good. Even though I do have the jersey up here that's from 2004. That was the only one of the ones I could steal from the clubhouse.
There you go.
They didn't issue you like 900.
No, no, you had to give them back. I didn't know that till my last year. That's why I got this one. I would always return it like a good boy. And
I guess that's how they end up in baseball cards and auctions and all that kind of stuff. Then is because they just don't let you have anything.
That's right. I know they don't. You have to buy it, but they used to.
Yep.
Now they have like 20 jerseys a season.
Yeah,
It's interesting you would say that. So when I went down and saw the guys at Birdman, one of the first things they said was that most of the guys have to buy their own bats. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, even Aussie Albies, like guys of that level, they buy their own bats. Their agent does it for them.
True.
Their agent negotiates and says, we'll buy 100 bats, but you're going to sell them to us for $35 a bat or whatever it is. The company wants to have their name out there and the rest. But like, just to hear him say that, I was like, that doesn't seem to make any sense. Because I know that hockey players don't pay for their hockey sticks. They have contracts through the teams and through the manufacturers to use the product. But I think it rings true when you see a guy like Vladdy has used a different bat, like 9 times, like a different bat brand, like 9 times this year. And people used to be so brand loyal with bats. It's crazy. And now you think about it, like a guy breaks his bat and he sticks his hand out and they go into the thing and they're like, well, yours is the same as Bo's. Do you want to try his? And he's like, sure, why not? And then he hit it.
That's true. There's so many different companies all of a sudden. Yeah, there's so many different companies. I signed with the Cardinals after the Blue Jays for a brief time. And I remember I had to get bats for the first time. And they asked me what kind of bat I wanted. I was like, and they gave me 12 to start the year with like my name on them. I still have a couple left. I think just a couple because I broke most of them. But yeah, there was only Rawlings and there was like Sambat. And now there's so many bat companies that there's some good bats out there. Some really cool bats. I used to love some of the bats they have on like Players Day or Players Week, whatever it's called.
That was fun.
There's some really cool stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I mean, I like it. I think, again, it goes back to our conversations before. It's like the game has changed so much in the last 20 years. But I kind of, the last couple of years, really embrace it. I mean, even though there's a couple quirky rules that I'm not crazy about, but I'm not like the old head. It's like, analytics, baseball. No, I mean, it's and this year has been something else. I mean, since the last time we talked, I mean, the Blue Jays, just following the Blue Jays. But I did see, did Bo Bichette go on the disabled list? I think or the IL.
Yeah, that slide into home. That was
when
goofy,
was that recent? That was like
it was during the Yankees series.
That's right. That's right.
In the pouring rain, he tried to get home on that sort of play, and Bellinger threw him out at home. And I thought it was interesting. I mean, I get I know the rule, like once the ball's thrown, the catcher has the lane, but he really shouldn't be able to drop his shin pad. I mean, if you've got the guy by 10 feet, just call him out to stop the collision. Like, I mean, he had him by 10 feet. He's got him clean. And Bo has to slide into his shin pads to try and get even close to the plate. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. The rules changed a lot, but at the same time, it hasn't really made it any safer. Because I've seen a couple instances where the catcher just they used to just drop down in front of home plate and block you like a wall with the pads and everything else. But now the rule's kind of still there. The plays are so close and tight. There's not much he could do on that play. I mean, there's no. I mean, besides just stopping short, and he's a competitive player. He's just gonna, try to do what he did. It sucks that it's a knee thing. Hopefully, it's nothing.
Well, it's a cut, isn't it? Isn't it a cut on his shin?
Oh, is that what it is?
I'll have to look it up, but I don't think it was. I
saw a left knee strain.
Yeah.
Left knee strain is on the official word I saw.
Yeah.
They're
going to get him a rest. They need him right for the playoffs, right? That's, in my opinion, where they're currently at this whole thing. But he has been such an important part of this team. You need that bat, that defense, everything that he offers to be an igniter in the middle of this lineup. So if that's what
you talk about right now, shortstops.
Yeah,
I mean, look at Trey Turner from the Phillies. He just went out with a hamstring, which is probably I don't know.
Let's just for a minute talk about how ironic those two things are. Trey Turner and Bo Bichette are leading the league in hits by a significant, but they're only like 3 hits apart from one another.
Right.
And if you go and look at their other stats for this year, it's insane
almost
how
identical.
Similar they are. And then they both get hurt the same week, basically. Like,
I know.
It's almost like the baseball gods are smiling down and saying, you guys are going to get the healthiest Trey Turner that you've ever had for the playoffs, and the Jays are going to get the healthiest Bo Bichette they've ever had for the playoffs.
Hopefully. But I mean, I think the Jays are more vulnerable without Bichette than the Phillies are without Turner. Even though Turner's having such a great year, they have a pretty good backup that can defensively is going to be pretty solid because Turner's solid defensively, but he's not a Gold Glover where they had Armando Sosa playing short, and he's pretty legit shortstop. So I think, and they put Harper in the leadoff spot the other night. I mean, their lineup is still pretty. Where the Blue Jays, it changes their whole dynamic of their whole team. I think when he's out,
you lose.
I think so.
Yeah. So, Craig, should we talk about some Phillies stuff before we talk about Jays stuff? Because I got two I want to talk about before. The first one is you mentioned Harper being in the leadoff spot. I thought it was insanely interesting to watch him be pitched to by the Brewers the other night, and the Brewers thinking he was getting plus calls on his checks. Like, I watched the video. It wasn't a swing. Like, he didn't go past. Right. And if it was, I mean, 100 guys are going to do that, and 97 of them are not going to get called for a strike.
Right.
Like, I just found it interesting to hear what the manager was yelling out to the field as being like, "Oh, wow!" Like,
"Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about." The player
where he's like, "Don't be preferential. We're all the same." Da da da. And I'm like, "Whoa!" Like,
like,
what are your thoughts on that? Like,
I mean, I mean, my thoughts: should the game be equal for everyone? Yeah, but is it? I mean, there's a certain amount of leeway the veterans have always gotten in baseball. It's not as bad as it used to be. I mean, you would see a guy like Greg Maddux, pitching wise, or Tony Gwynn. They wouldn't get a straight call on them. And like Bonds, I mean, he throws something on the corner and it's a ball no matter what. Whereas if it's a rookie, it's like strike, it could be 10 feet outside. That happened to me as a rookie. I would throw pitches and they'd be called balls. I'm like, what? And the umpire would make a comment. Sorry about that, rook. Like, make a comment after the inning's over, and like, just like I know it's not as bad, but I know Harper, there's a certain, I mean, there's conspiracy theories too, right? Like, the game is all about making money, right? So you have superstars like Bryce Harper. They want the Phillies in the playoffs. They want Harper to do well. I mean, he's the face of the game. That's conspiracies, right? Like, you would think, I don't know if that's legit or not, but I look at it that way too. Like, the superstars drive the game, they drive revenue, and you get a couple calls here or there. I mean, I don't know. I'm mixed on it because I was never a veteran, like typical veteran that had like a ton of time where so I never had that luxury, but I've seen it. I mean, for sure. And somebody like Harper, I mean, he's been hosed a couple times. He got thrown out of a ton of games like a couple years ago for check swings, and he didn't get like some stuff like that. But I just hope, kind of like on a side note, they don't bring the instant replay into the balls and strikes of the game, because that would be terrible. Like they did in spring training with the whole head tapping thing. I thought that was awful because it slowed the rhythm of the game. It slowed the rhythm of the game down. The pitcher, it just stopped everything. The momentum. It's just for the fan. It kind of breaks up. Like it's not too bad with the instant replay, but it does it still, where it breaks the game, and you're like kind of like, okay. And you see the instant replays on TV, and he's out or he's safe, but it still takes like 2-3 minutes. Just breaks the flow of the game a little bit. But I think they sped it up with the clocks and things like that, the pitch clock. But I just don't. If you're going to do anything, go to the robotic strike zone and have an umpire down there just to kind of guide the game, call people out at home plate, things like that. But because they're doing it basically now on TV, with the boxes. I mean, and the umpires are all metric after the game, exact calls, and they're dinged if they don't make. So they're calling ball basically as best of their ability right in that box. So why not have it be perfect? And then this way, everything, there's no arguing balls and strikes anymore. I mean, that's what I think. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
You can't lose the humanity of it. There has to be a human part of it, whether
I think
it be good, bad, or indifferent.
That's what I say all the time in technology. Human in the loop. You have to have a human kind of, just for all the intangibles of people. We're people, not robots, right? Even though, they sometimes do think some of these guys are robots. I mean, I just saw a stat before I came on here about the guy from the Nationals, Wood. How many times he struck out this year?
Wood.
He struck out like 190 sometimes this year already. They said they put a stat up like Tony Gwynn in all of the 90s only struck out less than that in the whole decade.
That's one of our favorite stats on this one.
I love that.
There was seasons that Jason and I are huge Tony Gwynn fans because we think Tony Gwynn was just a epitome of the gamer on offense for what a prototypical Major League Baseball player, especially throughout his career. He did everything at the beginning too. He was also a stolen base guy. People forget that.
His size.
Yeah, 30. He struck out 30 times in a whole season, 162 games. It's like
I know.
You can't even fathom that anymore. Aaron Judge does that in a week.
Yeah, I mean, James Wood. I mean, he's. I think his name's James, right? James Wood. He's like one of the big up and coming like poster childs of baseball. And I did watch him play. He's very good, but the amount of strikeouts I see, I just don't get it. When I understand if you're going to swing for the fences, but when you get 2 strikes, I mean, they were doing it the other night. Phillies were playing the Mets, and Duran was pitching, and he throws 100-mile-an-hour split finger fastballs. But they had one guy 2 strikes, and he was choked up on the bat like this much. And I was like, I appreciate that, because he was just trying to put the ball in play. And all guys should do that with 2 strikes. Why not put it in play? Something might happen. I think the good teams do that. Like, you'll see good teams. Teams are in the playoff. They're doing it, especially now. The rush now, like teams are doing that. You see the Blue Jays are playing the Astros, right? They're playing the Astros. Astros, I saw them play Phil. I mean, they're good. They play good baseball. They're really good. So they'll have their hands full there. Are they at home? Or are they at?
Yeah, they beat them last night. They walked.
Oh yeah, the walk off, right? Yeah, that was a good game. I saw the highlights.
Yeah, it's great. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Like, I mean, Tyler Heineman and then IKF. Like, I mean, the fact that the guy comes back, and I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the interview afterwards. I mean, IKF, he had his time with the Jays, and he was actually pretty good for a bit there, and then the game kind of moves past him a little bit. Did he go to Buffalo that whole time, or what was he doing, Craig? Was he?
No, he actually was traded last trade deadline to the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's been playing for the Major League Pittsburgh Pirates the whole entirety of the time. He hasn't been in a Blue
and then they just brought him back.
They waived him because this is this stupid crap that the freaking Pirates keep doing. And they did this to my buddy, Rowdy Tellez. That is the reason we have the tagline for this show, the Barroom Chat for Blue Jays fans, because he said it to me with Danny Jansen a few years ago. And I'm like, I'm stealing that. Do you care? And he goes, have fun. And so they get close to this time of year, and anybody that has that little clause in their contract with the Pirates that says when you make this many games, you're going to get a bonus. Waived. So he was a free agent technically, and he went unclaimed through so many teams. Blue Jays put a claim on him. He became a Toronto Blue Jay. So
Bob, I think you can sort of attend to this. So he made an incredible play in the ninth to turn two, and it was a really smart, solid baseball play with a lot of shit going on. And then after the game, they're recording him with Tyler Heineman standing beside him with no shirt on. He's been dunked.
Oh, I did see that.
Tyler's got the big tattoo like this, and he's like, I just like being back in Canada so much. He's like, can you feel it? And he's like doing this, and like the crowd's going insane. And I'm like, good for you, IKF. Have a moment, man. Like, you've had since when you left the Yankees, you haven't had a lot of moments, and that was one. And he was on base, wasn't he? Didn't he score the first run of the comeback runs?
I think you're correct, but he scored. He hit the single to drive in the tying runs yesterday, and then he was on base for Heineman to.
Anyway, super awesome. Super awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
So I want to go back 2 seconds. We have two things that are going on here. I know you have your other question. This will lead into it because we
can leave that till
last week. So we mentioned strikeouts and the Tony Gwynns of baseball and everything. So I pulled up team collective strikeouts, and this is where I think the Blue Jays have found a way to flip the script in Major League Baseball, and one of the many reasons they have been a successful team in Major League Baseball this year. The Blue Jays have the lowest amount of strikeouts in all of Major League Baseball.
See? There you go. And they have the second best record or first? No, they're the second best record. Beside the Brewers. Beside the Brewers and the Phillies. No, wait, Phillies have the second best record. Then the Blue Jays.
Phillies are in the top 10 on that number as well, to your point, Bob.
Are they?
Which is
they have a couple guys that strike out a ton, but they're better this year than they've been for sure.
But like Schwarber never.
The key is how many other people
ever struck out? Ever? Has Kyle Schwarber ever struck out? I don't think so.
You're joking.
I haven't seen it.
He's better this year, though. He's
way better this year.
He's struck out less this year than years past, for sure. I mean, but it's true. To my point, winning teams. Look at that. There's a correlation there. I bet you none of the teams at the bottom half have less strikeouts than any teams on the top half. I guarantee that.
So let me just give you the Blue Jays are, like I said, the Major League leading less strikeouts with 976. They have not hit the quadruple digits yet. There's only one other team in Major League Baseball that has not hit 1,000 strikeouts as a team, and that is the Kansas City Royals, which is pretty damn impressive when they have a lot of young talent on that team. You typically younger guys swing at balls. This is how it is. The worst team in Major League Baseball, I know there's not terribly a shocking here. It's the Los Angeles Angels, Colorado Rockies. And then this is the one that stood out to me being, knowing where the standings currently sit with us, Jason, as Blue Jays fans. The Boston Red Sox are the third worst strikeout team in Major League Baseball.
Wow.
So, and then followed quickly by the Seattle Mariners, another wild card team, and then the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
That one doesn't surprise me when you have Giancarlo Stanton in the middle of that line.
I know. And there's a few guys. So,
but no, your Phillies are in the top 10 as far as least.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, what they picked up, their team now is, I love Harrison Bader. I thought he was the best pickup. And people around here friends of mine were laughing at me. I'm telling you, in this kind of atmosphere with the playoffs on the line, he's a gamer. Like he started off so slow, and I was like, yeah, I told you. Now he's on fire, and he's a perfect spark plug for a team like this. And I like guys like him. I think they just, make the game fun to watch too.
Yep. Yeah.
He's one of those guys that when he was traded to Philly, I was like, he's going to finally fly, because he's had all the talent in the world.
Yeah.
Cardinals, I don't know if they used him properly. And then he got traded to New York, of all places, to play with the Yankees. And I was like, that pinstripes thing is not going to work for, I think, the mantra that he exudes, right?
Right.
He strikes me as somebody that was like, if the Phillies drafted him, I would have been like, yep, that's a perfect fit. That flies. So
yeah, I'm curious. He's not under contract, right? So he'll be a free agent after the year. So, and the Phillies have a guy coming up, Carl Crawford in AAA, who's an absolute stud. He might be in the top 10 prospects in baseball. So I'm guaranteed he's going to be up. I'm curious what they're going to do there, because I think Bader's great. But Phillies have a lot of tough decisions to make in the offseason. I mean, Schwarber's a free agent. That's do you pay a DH $300 million? Right? Well, Castellanos is he a free agent? Or is he one more year? I'm not sure. But he's been platooning as of late. So for the first time in his career. So but Schwarber's he's the tough one because he's a fan favorite. He fits in the it's all about perception too, right? But he's also a DH. Yeah, he hits 50 home runs. Do you pay him $300? He's going to ask some big money. And do you pay that to a guy that is one dimensional like a DH? Like you could get a top tier, shortstop. I'm not saying like a third baseman or catcher. JT I think he might be coming up free agent too. So, it's that's where the business side kind of gets kind of tricky in baseball in general.
Yep, that's when we're gonna have to go talk to your buddy Jeff Fry and ask him who the hell he's repping and see if he's getting him paid.
I don't know how much he's doing anymore. Every guy he had,
I don't think he is.
I know that he had a couple. Who was this big guy he had? He had a couple guys. And they wound up switching agencies. But Fry's still going at it on Twitter or X. Still going at it.
He had a nice rant that I joined in yesterday.
I get a million mentions every morning, and I'm like, are you still going at this guy? Like, this is my daughter's 5.5. It started when she was born. That's when it started. 5.5 years it's been going on.
The Teachman guy.
Yeah.
So. But on that note, you mentioned the Harrison Bader thing. Harrison Bader was, I will say, inadvertently caught in a certain moment in Miami over the last week, and is a baseball podcast. I know we're definitely Blue Jays centric on this show, but we're here for the kids. We like being the ones that have all the wonderful fun and whatnot here. That's the reason we have, Travis, you, and all these other people on, is to give these, youngsters some great stories and hear all these things on what might help them get over something or move on to all these pieces. So the summary of this whole thing is nicknamed aptly the Phillies Karen, and she more or less thought she was entitled to a home run ball hit by Harrison Bader. The gentleman that I saw grab the ball kind of looked like he picked that pretty damn clean. There was no lingering. I didn't see any fists thrown. Walks it back over to his son. They're hugging. It's like a very nice moment. Kids got the ball. Everything's happy. And then basically verbal assault. And eventually the Phillies and the Marlins, I cannot say enough good things on how they handled the situation, turned the frown upside down for this young kid, because that's something regardless of how the father and the woman interaction in this whole thing went, the thing that burned me the most is that kid might never go to a baseball game again from something like that, or he doesn't want to be in that kind of thing. You just don't know how the kid's going to react to that whole thing. He got turned around in that whole situation where the Marlins came around and said, hey, we're sorry all this shit happened. It's being dealt with. Here's your swag bag with a bunch of autographs and stuff in it. And then Harrison Bader found out about it and told them to bring the kid down, and he hung out with him for a few minutes, signed a bat, gave it to him.
Yeah.
Put a complete U-turn on the whole thing. Bob, you have kids, all these things just like you and I and Jason do. What would your thought would be if this was going on while you were on the mound one day? It just seemed like,
I've seen some wild stuff in the stands. Some crazy things, but
you've been booed at by your own fans, yeah?
Oh, easily booed off the field. Yeah, my goodness. I thought the whole situation was wild, because first thing I said to my wife in the morning, I saw the highlights, and my wife didn't know anything about it in the morning. We're having breakfast, and I said, wait till the internet gets a hold of this, because I know what's going to happen. Like, she's going to get just crushed. Like, just with memes. I couldn't wait to see some of the memes. I knew it was going to happen. But what happens in this day and age in a public place, it's not just funny. It's like, this lady's life I mean, this is where you feel. I mean, do I feel bad for her a little bit? I don't know.
She could have been having a bad day. I don't know, but
well,
it's
here's the thing.
really.
I would, before having a child 5.5 years ago, I would guarantee she doesn't have any kids, because you would never act like, because knowing the way I am with a kid now, like, not that I would act that way anyway, but it's just a different mindset. You know how kids get affected by these types of moments, and it means so much. Like, I remember the first ball I got at a game during batting practice when I was, I'll never forget it. And I was like, probably that kid's age. And I think, it just, the situation, it's not like he ripped it out of her hand, or like, it was clear as day. And when I saw it, like, you got to be aware of this day and age with cell phones, cameras everywhere. Like, you just got to be smart, because I don't know what she does. There's so many rumors online. I don't know what she does for a job, for a living.
Who knows what's real?
But like, even whatever company you're at, they don't want that kind of exposure. I mean, you look at the Coldplay thing that happened back, which wasn't based on. I mean, you're talking companies could go under because of the public perception. So I just think
that basically happened with that tennis incident too.
That's the other one. Yeah,
that guy's French company got blasted.
That's exactly right. And you look at that and you're like, just be a little smart. But some people don't have that awareness in the moment. She wanted a ball so bad. And when you're in those moments, before I played professionally, a ball was like the biggest deal ever at a game. So, you get fired up and things like that. But if it was just the dad and not the kid, I mean, that's one thing. But with the kid, like, what are you going to do with the ball? Like, what are you going to do with it? It's not like it's worth $1 million. It's not a Mark McGuire set or Barry Bonds some home run ball that you can sell for millions.
How is the reaction? Like, I mean, it's immediately after I saw it a little bit, afterwards, where I got to see the Bader stuff and everything. Now, I know how the city of Philadelphia is. Has it been a big deal? Like, is Harrison just like, could he run for mayor next week? And just be like,
he came out. I didn't see the whole interview, but he was interviewed about it. You guys might have. I don't know if did you see it? And he blasted the lady. Like, he blasted her. And so that just added fuel to the fire here in Philly. Now, I don't know where this lady's from. She was in Miami. Is she from Philly, though? Like, I don't know. I still don't know, because there's so much fake stuff out there. People just post made up stuff, and next thing you know, it's like they said that she worked at a school, and the school district had to put out a thing because she doesn't work at a school. It's like, don't say that about our school district, I just think with the kid involved, like, you just got to be like, what are you doing? Like, oh my goodness. But when you just look at the situation, you're like, you're just a bad person. You're not a good person if you do that. You're just not. You're just not a good person. Even if it was just her and the guy. Like, what are you yelling in somebody's face for? Like, and then Philly, it's funny you speak about Philly. Philly's so critical about everything. There's a side, and this might not just be Philly, that's all over the dad. Like, they're saying the dad should, I mean, what's the dad going to do? Knock her out? Like, what is he going to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're saying the dad should have stuck for a kid and just shoved her out of his face. I'm like,
so off guard.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know how I would have reacted.
Bob and Craig, I think that, I mean, you guys don't really like, I mean, you don't know how I am personally. And in years past, I was a very hot-headed, person. There's no way I would have studied. Like, I can remember being at Canucks games with my kids being little, and the guys in front of me just letting rip with the drunk tirades, like just swear after swear after swear. And I didn't care how big they were or what they were, who they were. I was telling them to shut up. And if they didn't like it, they could be moved to another seat, or I could move them. And I'm not a big dude. I'm not, anything like that. But I could 100% see from that guy that he was just like, oh my God, like this is way out of the scope of what just take it. I mean, I can go buy him one. I can maybe catch another one, but I don't need to stand and have you this.
That's what I thought was good. I thought
the effect on the kid.
I know she's not getting the baseball back from me in that situation. Like, just out of principle. I'm like, you're not going to yell at me. I'm going to give it to you. Like, it's just not going to happen. And she's lucky she was in Miami, because after in Philly, thank God it was in Miami, because Philly fans, I mean, oh my goodness.
A few Broad Street bullies after that point.
I mean, they're saying there's all kinds of rumors. They're saying Jeff Lurie banned her from all Eagles games for the rest of her life. Like, I don't know if that's true. I saw something about that the other day. I'm like, she's not allowed in any major league stadium ever again. But nobody knows who she is. Like, she's hiding pretty well, I guess. I don't know if she's probably dyed her hair and,
the cul-de-sac, hiding in the cul-de-sac at her neighborhood or.
I think, and this situation used to happen all the time, these kind of things. But now it's so so amplified because of
your point,
the internet.
Cameras are everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the funny thing is like when it happened, I got to give it to the broadcast team. Well, they were on it right away.
Oh yeah.
And the camera guy stuck with it, and he's like, I don't know what's going on there. She looks like she's going over and demanding the ball back, and they still haven't cut back to the pitcher or anything. They showed it all the way through, and they were like, that ain't right, you know, It looks like the dad just wanted to get her out of the face, you know, blah blah blah. But then, like, within minutes, there are 4 to 5 different angles of that. Like, people are just sitting like this.
I know,
ready to
recording.
Go. Like,
I know. I saw
the other problem was they were just a home run hit, so everybody's like watching the camera with their rather than.
I don't know, man. I go to a baseball game and I barely get my phone out, like barely. If it was to ring in my pocket, I would get it out. But I mean, I'm there to, like, these things here, and this thing is what records it. And, you know, I think it's so much better to be able to come home from it and sit down with my buddies and be like, did you guys watch the game? You know, oh my God, that home run was right by us, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I don't know. I maybe I'm an old fart and I can't get behind this, you know, cameras out at every set. Like, there was a big fight at a lacrosse game here last night, and rather than stopping it, people are filming it. And you're like, what are we doing?
Well, it's interesting. There's a comment in the comment about front office being prepared for a situation like that. It is true. They're prepared for scenarios because, again, it looks like a black eye on the team. Like, they don't want that kind of, like, even the Marlins. That's why you saw the Marlins PR come over with like a grab back. Like, they don't want, you know, them being affiliated with this like rude behavior in the stadium, especially with baseball now. A lot of sports are doing it, even though football's still crazy when you're in the stadium. But again, these professional teams are brands now. They're global brands. They're so much bigger than they were. So they have to control every PR nightmare that's coming up. And so they do have like damage control. Now this, I mean, big picture, this isn't like a huge, everybody's going to forget it in like couple weeks, you know, but I mean, this lady, I mean, oh my goodness, talk about just getting destroyed online. I mean, some of the memes are super creative. I'm just like amazed. I'm like, people comment these things like the next day. I'm like, the Garbage Pail one, I saw one, the Garbage Pail Kids one. I'm like, that's pretty creative. Like, who made that? And with AI now, you can just throw a couple things.
You can do whatever you want.
And it's wild, you know? Like, hilarious. But yeah, it's I think Harrison Bader just added fuel to the fire in Philly because he was like you said, he could run for mayor. Like, he's like a fan favorite now because he said he is that kind of player in Philly. That feel like the Lenny Dykstra type, you know, like that will just like
he even looks like Lenny Dykstra a little bit.
He does. I mean, he
a little more hair.
He wears a lot of colors. I'll tell you what. He wears a pink, purple. I know there's a reason behind it. I watched an interview and I was like, okay, I may get past. It was a legitimate reason why he wears all that. I forget what it was, but it was for a good cause. Because at first I'm like, look at this guy. I mean, it's funny, but yeah, I think you know, it's an interesting situation. It's wild. And it's like the hat with the tennis. Was it Wimbledon or
I know U.S. Open?
U.S. Open. That was pretty brutal. I thought that
one was
worse.
Blatant too.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised that one actually got caught on camera. That was somebody just
quick. That was quick.
And you had to look too. Quick. Like when I saw the highlight, I had like the mute on the TV, and I was like, "What happened there?"
The only reason I caught it was you saw the look of WTF on the kid's face, and I'm like, "Okay, well, what did I miss?" And then, there it is. And the kid made out pretty well in that one too. So not so much the CEO of the other company, but I think the best thing on the Phillies Karen thing though was I don't know how much you two watched the Savannah Bananas, but they have
they did
the dad cheerleaders that are like the beer guts and everything like that, and they pretend to steal the ball from the and then the kid walks over, and then the Grinch comes over to the dad bods and steals the ball.
I did see that. That was pretty funny.
Pretty good.
You've done it when the Savannah Bananas are spoofing it from a ballpark.
Well, yeah, they're taking over. I'll tell you what, they're like the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball now. They're going to be that big if they're not already. I mean, they sold out in Philly.
Fun to watch.
I mean, they sold out in minutes here. Like, tickets were going for quite a lot of money too.
They had the lottery all their tickets. And they try to actually discourage the secondary market. Like, they have an agreement with StubHub that you can't buy on them and all these other. So it's the mom and pop ticket resale.
Good because tickets are outrageous on the secondary.
They don't want outrageous. They want to have the family brand, and they do a great job of literally. You can go on YouTube and watch every one of their games for all 4 teams and enjoy it.
4 teams? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 teams. The bananas and the party animals are the actual, the original, right? The Savannah.
Actually, the Macon Bacon is the original.
Macon Bacon.
And then the bacon switched to the party animals. And then they've got the firefighters and I can't remember
Texas Tailgaters.
Texas
Tailgaters. Savannah Bananas play in Savannah, Georgia at that stadium where the A-ball team. I guess the A-ball team's not there anymore. It used to be the Braves low A-ball.
Yeah. This gentleman bought that club because they couldn't keep it going.
Yeah, it's in it's in a
Jesse Cole. If you're looking for a baseball story and somebody that has had the drive and the passion, the story of him and his wife are one of the craziest stories in, I'll say, just being a business person, period, not just.
You read the Barnum and Bailey circus book. The guys who wrote the guys who started Barnum and Bailey Circus, and he was in between jobs, so he knew that team, the Braves, was going out of business, and he was GMing some small little podunk town team that had gone from like 400. He had raised the attendance from like 400 to like 2,000 a game, and so that was his next step. He wanted to go to a next team, and when the president, when it was brought to like. Put in front of him, he was like, you have to buy it, you can't just come GM it. And he was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, then I'm going to completely change what we're talking about. And when you watch it, like it's a 30 and 30, or it's one of those, and you just
60 Minutes actually. It was Diane Walters or whatever her name was from 60 Minutes interviewed her.
Because I've seen one where it was ESPN or something like that. But it's phenomenal what this guy went through to get it going. Grandmas. It's so much fun. It was between that one and the Battered Bastards of Baseball, which if you haven't seen that, again, just an unbelievable story in baseball that if you don't know it about Kurt Russell's dad and Kurt Russell and the whole independent league, and these guys were beating MLB lineups that were like, they were all-star MLB lineups, and these guys were smoking darts in the dugout and drinking beer underneath. Like, they had beer. There's a picture where they have empty beer underneath the bench, and the starting pitcher's hacking a dart like just behind where you can see the play. Like, it's comical.
Like every character in the dugout is Walter Matthau from the Bad News Bears. And
the first pitcher that they signed for that team that Kurt Russell's dad bought, it was an Oregon independent team, was a 45-year-old math teacher that hadn't thrown a pitch in like 15 years. They throw him in. He strikes out Ken Griffey. He strikes out like Ozzie Smith. The list of guys that he struck out is batshit. Like, you're like, no, come on. Page. And then you go look it up, and you're like, what? Like, craziness. It's such a cool story.
That's great.
But I can not say enough things about checking out the Savannah Bananas. I don't care if you're a good, diehard old school baseball fan. It's fun. If you just watch it in that lens, it is very competitive, very good baseball with a nice spin on it. That's all it is. Yeah. Enjoy it how it is. Baseball is baseball. Banana ball is banana ball. Keep it like that.
Yeah. Good point.
So, on that note, I don't know if Jeff Fry would agree with me, but
no, he would not. He rips this.
He would not. He would not.
I'm gonna have to get him on here again, and we're gonna have to be this. Like, hey,
we should get on together because I'd like to get on with him. I've done a couple with him, and it's hilarious because
it will be specifically. We'll just make sure we sandbag him just a little bit, and we won't talk about analytics. Talk about banana ball, and then just let him
bananas analytics.
Oh, I got my whole thing. I got the hat. I got a shirt. I wear the whole thing, not just and play it off like it's what I would wear every single time.
That's great.
What do you mean wearing banana ball stuff?
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's not do our disservice to our 70 people that are in the chat right now, as we've been obviously having a wonderful good time talking all things baseball. But this Blue Jays team has been incredible over this season. Yes, we've had some lulls. Yes, we've had some highs. All these wonderful things. We are fresh off of a series loss in which things were a little rough, but it was competitive in New York. We just started this series against the Houston Astros and came back and won for the 43rd comeback win of the season yesterday for the Toronto Blue Jays, as we were discussing earlier with the IKF George Springer home run again, and eventually sealing it with a Tyler Heineman. We've been talking over the last few weeks that the bullpen has really been the central point of the Toronto Blue Jays struggles. The catch they have turned that frown upside down over the past few days, gentlemen. And the bullpen itself, I got to pull the stat back up. Other than the fact that I love the GIFs and memes and everything that have been flying around on Twitter, because they've been basically showing the Undertaker laying on the ground, then boom, the bullpen's back. They have only allowed like 1 run in the last 4 games. It's 12 innings for the bullpen, 0.75 ERA, a sub-1 whip, and an opponent's batting average of 0.111. So slightly different than what we were dealing with a few weeks ago when we were the worst bullpen in the month of August.
In the 5. I think the ERA was in the 5s for every guy or more.
So it was a rough
So
stretch.
Jeff Hoffman has 30 saves for you guys?
And a 4-something, almost 5 ERA.
Yeah, I saw. Well, he had that rough start, right? I mean,
and they almost ran him out of town.
I know. In the beginning, I remember the first time we talked, he was struggling because he did really well in Philly. Mm-hmm. And I liked him as a pitcher. But I wasn't surprised he went somewhere else because he got paid. But I didn't know he had 30 saves. I just looked at it. I was like, wow, you have that many wins. Somebody's going to carry the saves. I didn't know it was him until right now. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think, well, talking about Blue Jays, I mean, I don't know about their pitching. I mean, you guys know more than I do, but looking at their pitching, especially before this show, I was looking at their just stats in general, and like I just saw an article about their 6. They said they have like 6 really solid starters, which I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, the Phillies at one point had 6 legitimate starters, like all-stars. Like 4 of them were all-stars. And now they lost Wheeler, but they're still, I mean, they have 3 guys that dominate every game. I mean, that's why the Phillies are where they are, not because of their lineup. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's because of their lineup. It's because of their pitching. And so I look at the Blue Jays, I think obviously their lineup with Springer, Bichette, and Vladimir, or Vladdy Jr., they're potent, really potent. But in the playoffs, as we all know, pitching carries you through the playoffs. I mean, especially top 3. As long as the Blue Jays have 2 or 3, but 2 really solid studs, which they do, but on paper they don't. But they do. I know they do. Yeah. I mean, looking at their stats on paper, just at this point in the season, I'm like, but if they're hot at the right time, which they seem to be hot as of late, the last couple of months, at least the last month for sure. I mean, the turnaround is unbelievable.
I feel like all of their starters have had a hot month, and I think that's what's helped. Like whether it was Berrios for a month, or whether it was Scherzer even for a month, or
Scherzer, I always forget about him.
And Gossman looks untouchable right now. Like he looks like he's throwing a pea right now. And then Shane Bieber, I would say he's probably 2 legit starts away from just being, like you said, totally dominant. Like his off-speed stuff is grotesque. I don't know of anybody that throws a better the changeup. I mean, the movement on it is ridiculous. He can elevate. He's a great pitcher. He's just missing right now. He leaves a couple too many up high, and so there's a lot of long balls.
They're misses.
Yeah, a lot of long balls.
When the Jays played
also
the Phillies,
been Scherzer.
Yeah.
I mean, the Phillies, when they played the Phillies, they're pitching. I mean, I forget who it was. The one guy was lights out. Was it Gossman?
It had to have been Gossman. Because he had
I think that's who it was.
You guys.
He wore like a purple glove. Who wore the purple glove?
Oh, no, that's what's his name? The heavy guy with the beard. Why can't I think of his name?
Purple glove guy. I was calling him. Remember, because he had a bad outing, I think, at the one point, but he had some nasty stuff, and I said he should be playing with the Rockies with that purple glove. I don't understand why he had purple glove.
You talking Yaria? Yayrod?
No, it was
no.
It was.
I don't think he's a big boy. It's not Bassett.
No, it wasn't Bassett. I thought it was Gossman, but maybe it wasn't.
I can't remember.
No, it's not Gossman. Being an absolute equipment file, I know it's not.
Yeah,
it's Tommy Nance.
Tommy Nance. Yep.
Tommy Nance.
Is he not around? Is he not around
He's
anymore?
got a
Where's
purple
he
44.
Bullpen.
He's there. He's a mid to long receiver. I don't think Lauer has a purple glove. He might though, and Varland he might have had a purple glove too. But
purple glove.
I don't think Varland was with the team when we played Philly last time though. It was before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So
I think it's
anyhoozle.
I mean, if you look at, they flashed up on the MLB Network yesterday the actual what the playoffs look like today. Blue Jays are sitting in a good spot if they start today. Really good.
Yeah.
In terms of making a run.
And they get to get the fallout of whoever beats the shit out of each other in New York or Boston.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and it's New York's always going to be dangerous just because New York's New York, right? But yeah, I think the Blue Jays have a pretty good. There's the American League versus National League. National League's a lot more, I guess, close when it comes to talent and who can beat who at any time. I think the American League, there's some holes there. If somebody's hot, they can just blow through some of those teams. Because like the Brewers, they came out of nowhere since the last time we talked. And I just watched them play, and the Phillies beat up on them pretty good, but they're a good team. They're really good.
Yeah, they're a great team.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Blue Jays look. I was looking at some other Blue Jay stats. I was looking up some info. That's about the cross up. Somebody asked that question about that cross up.
Yeah, we gotta get back to that one.
Yeah. That was an interesting one.
Pitcher mantra.
That's an interesting one. I got a story about the minor leagues about a cross up, not with me, but with a teammate. Yeah, Bo Bichette. That's what I wanted to touch on. Barrios, was he hurt?
Yeah.
And is he back?
And he had like a weird outing that he only threw 2 innings and they just pulled him out. And I don't know if he was not feeling perfect. I don't remember hearing any of the reason why. But
he stayed in the dugout. He went down for a bit and came back up. Yeah. So I mean, maybe I think at one point they were speculating that he might have had just like an upset stomach, like, you know what I mean, like just like an upset stomach or something. He just wasn't feeling great, and so he went down and took
his
care
next
of
start. He's pitching tonight. So
Oh, he is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He likes pitching against the Astros, though.
Oh yeah. He mows through everybody except Jose Altuve
for Altuve.
I was so happy watching him get gunned down at third base last night. So
that was a great play. That was a great play. That was good baseball IQ right there.
Yeah, because he was not even paying attention. He went off at second base going, "Oh, I got third. It's all good." And bam.
Have you guys seen the Hazel May clip where the pitch before I guess Altuve ran towards second, and Vladdy looks over like this, and he looks at Barger, and he's like I'm like and you could see it, like they show the replay. He's like he took this
a big jump off of second,
and he's coming slow, like he's barely running to 3, and I mean, it was amazing. It was incredible to watch. I love that my kids they got to see it, and they were like, "Oh wow, that was a really smart baseball play, like a really smart baseball."
I love Hayes. You mentioned comment. I don't think anybody in Major League Baseball at first base makes that out, other than Vladdy with his cannon. So
yeah, he has a good arm, like his dad. No, I was saying you mentioned Hazel May. I was like, wow, she's still at it. She looks like she hasn't aged a day since the last time I saw her, like 20 some years ago. It's unbelievable. Like she's still. I mean, I saw some clips of her doing highlights or whatever. I'm like, she's a true professional. She's doing it so long. I can't believe she's still like. I mean, that kind of job. We talked about jobs earlier, Craig, before the podcast. But I'm like, being in broadcasting and in any sport, the hours, the time. I mean, how about a grind?
I know.
And she is, to your point, so talented. The Blue Jays, us fans, as Blue Jays fans, we are so spoiled with having Dan Schulman, Buck Martinez,
Dan Schulman is
her,
the man. Dan Schulman could tell me the worst news, and I'd be like, it's not that
Dan
bad.
Schulman used to just sit with me, like at the hotel, and just talk. Like I didn't even know who he was really. I was a rookie. I was like, but he would talk to me forever. We just talk about anything, and he turns out to be the stud announcer. And I'm like, just like Tom Cheek was great. All the guys. I still keep in touch with Jerry Howard. He's finally retired, but I mean, Jerry, talk about one of the nicest humans in the world. I mean, Jerry would text message me like 10 years after the fact. How's the family? How's that? Like all the time. Awesome. And it was only there for a couple of years, you know what I mean? And it's like, if he's doing that with me, he knows about 10,000 Blue Jays that ever played the game. So solid people.
Yeah,
sure.
I guess I was personally happy with this other thing, with yesterday during the broadcast. Let's just say our buddy Buck Martinez threw a little bit of shade at the Yankees during the broadcast yesterday, and it felt very much like a rehashed insert slap in the face for what Michael Kay said about the Blue Jays a million
very
years
much
ago.
so.
Very much so.
If you people out there in TV land and podcast land don't think that was Buck Martinez, taking one good sort of last body shot at a guy he doesn't like.
Well, Buck Martinez, I mean, I have it. I mean, I owe him everything. Like, he gave me a shot, right? And but Buck Martinez, people don't realize he played 20 plus years in the big leagues. This guy is ultra competitive. Like, I mean, it's deep down. Like, you don't lose that. And like, when things like in the broadcast world, I mean, you know, he used to tell me stories about how he got started in broadcasting, where he would just like watch games after he got done playing in like a little recorder and just do play-by-play by himself and just listen back. And he got an opportunity. He would do games over and over and just practice. Like, talk about being, you know, it's the typical mindset of a professional player, but like, he brought it to broadcasting, and he's been around forever too. I can't believe he's still doing it too. He's I mean,
and we're blessed to have him.
Manager. I don't know how old he is now. How old is he? I mean, he's got to be.
I had to look it up, but he's getting there.
I mean, because when he managed the team in 2001, that was 24 years ago, and he had to be pushing 60, I think, or was he in his 50s? I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I'm pulling it up.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
So he's 76, almost 77. So honestly,
he still has great hair. No, I don't know how he pulls.
I didn't realize this. He almost has the same birthday I do.
I mean, how's he have such great hair at 77? I don't get it. I mean, that's a genetic thing there.
There you go. So I just lost it. Where is it? So the exact quote was, and this is, let me frame it, because you knowing him as well as you do, Bob, I'm sure you're gonna be like, yep, that's 100% Buck. So the Yankees were winning the ball game yesterday. They jumped out in front with a couple of home runs and whatnot against the Tigers. The Tigers came roaring back and took a giant bite out of the Yankees to the point where they just owned them the rest of the game. Double digits, I believe, was the key wording. So they're talking about the out of town scoreboard, and he probably had the same reaction that we did. It's like, oh, whoops, you dropped the ball there, Yankees. And he just goes, well, the Yankees, they're not a good team, is the beginning of the quote. I don't care what their record is. They have a lot of wild pitches. They make a lot of mistakes in the field. They don't run the bases very well. At a minimum, to me, that's Buck Martinez in a nutshell, just because he was always so about the fundamentals, even as a player, a manager, all of it. You've heard it on the broadcasts. That's what his definition of a bad team is. Boom, there it is.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
So, and of course, everybody, Blue Jays fans were like, perfect. Michael Kay said this when we were playing them in the first series against the Yankees in Toronto, where we ended up sweeping the Yankees. Yeah. Oh, the Blue Jays run differential is horrible. They're not this good of a team. And it's like, oh, well, there you go. There's your quote.
So when's the last time the Blue Jays were in the playoffs? Was it 2015? Was that the last time?
It's the last time we won a game in the playoffs, but
2 years ago. Or when did we get pasted by the Twins?
Was that 2 years ago they were in?
Yeah,
we haven't won a game. We haven't won a game in the playoffs since 2016. Last time the Blue Jays won the division, and this was the first time they've won it since they won the World Series, was in 2015. Yeah. So, as you are more than well aware of, Bob, playing those teams you played with, there was a bit of a drought going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because when I came out in 2000, they made a run because they had Clemens, and they made a good. They kind of crapped the bed at the end there, but because I was hoping for like a September call up, and even 99, they had it. I mean, you think about the rotation back then. I mean, in 2000, 99 even, it was Escobar, Holiday, Carpenter. I mean, basically 2 of them won Cy Young. Escobar was nothing short of Cy Young material. His stuff.
Loved watching him too. Stuff is awesome.
He's a great guy. We keep in touch with him. He's a phenomenal guy. Yeah. So you look back at those teams, and they just and then you go through droughts like every team does. Especially a team like Toronto doesn't notoriously spend to make the team better, like a New York or like a Philly. Now the last 10 years, Phillies, that's all they've done. They spend to make the team competitive so they can fill the stadium every night. Blue Jays notoriously have never been that team. Like, some clubs just aren't that team. But if they have homegrown talent like they do, that is really good, and they control them, and that's why I was shocked when they signed Guerrero. I'm still shocked at that from Toronto, like their history there. Because is the owner the same owner still, the Blue Jays?
What's his name? Rogers still owns the team.
Still.
So, yep.
Yeah.
So, but to that point, that time frame you were talking about, people forget that Pat Henkin was a Cy Young Award winner.
That's right, Pat Henkin. I played a year with him. He came back. Yeah,
Pat Henkin was one of my favorite pitchers growing up, and I think it was the team you got to play with him on when he came to his comeback tour.
Yep. Yeah, I played with him and Tony Fernandez. They were my locker mates. I was in between Tony Fernandez and Pat Henkin. I was like, whoa, I used to sit with Tony Fernandez and just like, I'm like, this is Tony Fernandez I'm talking to right now. I'm like, this is like, what? This is like my dad grew up watching him basically. Yeah. Like, I'm like, how's he still playing?
The Blue Jays fan or the Blue Jays face of all faces, number one in all our hearts. Tony Fernandez, there's a reason he was on his team on 3 separate occasions, and he finished on top that year that he was with you too.
Yeah,
insanely good season.
I know, which is wild because he was hobbling around the clubhouse. He was all injured, and he would go out there. You never know it.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
So that's awesome.
I still can't believe Carlos Delgado isn't in the Hall of Fame. That's the most outrageous thing I've ever. Now that I see some of these guys getting in, like I'm just like, how is he not on the ballot anymore? It's truly unbelievable to me because I see some guys in the Hall of Fame, and they're phenomenal players. But the things I used to see Delgado do in batting practice, I'm like, I've never seen anything like it ever. And like,
well, you were on the team when he were you on the team when he did the 4 home run game?
Yeah. I was actually hurt, but I was there.
Yeah. So you got to witness that on hand. I still think that is where the birth of the bat flip came.
Yeah, he threw the bat. I remember.
So against the Rays, so he dropped 3 bombs in the seats. The last one he hits off the Hard Rock Cafe basically, and he goes, he tees that thing up. And he goes, I don't need this anymore, and just chucks it back.
That bat is like 35 ounces, like 35, whatever you use. He's so heavy. I remember picking it up one time. Like, he swung it like a toothpick. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand. And like he would and he hit over 300 every year. He was hitting like 40 home runs, 130 RBIs. Like, I just don't understand how. It's one thing not getting in at first, but to be off the ballot, like I just
off
can't
the ballot
comprehend
one time.
I don't understand that. That's where that's the perfect use case for the way the Hall of Fame is voted on should not be the way it is. Because Toronto, Canada. You don't have all the major writers. They don't know. They don't see them, especially before the internet, where you see all the games now. I remember my dad trying to catch our games. He bought like a giant satellite dish that was so much money, and he had no money just to watch some Blue Jay games. But even the Blue Jay and Expo games were never even on the satellite because they were in Canada.
Yeah, the reason I'm a Blue Jay fan here in Rochester, New York, is I got to listen to them on the radio. That's because it's right across Lake Ontario. That's the only reason I'm a Blue Jay fan at the end of the day. And then, they were on Sunday Night Baseball a lot. Yeah, in the early 90s because of obvious reasons.
They were good.
But so, but you're 100% right. Blue Jays fans that know it, we had our buddies from Steve Daly that are still petitioning basically the Hall of Fame to be getting Dave Steve in the Hall of Fame, and we are happy to be supporters of that. So make sure you vote for Dave Steve. But
they do that. They do that thing now where they have they vote in that player. Like who just got in? The Phillies guy, Dick Allen too. Dick Allen got in. Yeah, so that could happen down the road, but it's usually post-mortem. Like they don't get to celebrate it. Like, put me in the Hall of Fame when I'm dead. I mean, what the hell? I mean, I don't know. I would want to know. Yeah, it's like
when I tell my kids whenever I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money on something, I'm like, when I'm gone, I can't use it, so I got to use it now before you little rats get a hold of it.
There it is. So, but to that point, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Delgado should have a chance to enjoy it and celebrate it.
And we've talked about this a lot. Like we've had other guys on who really and especially back 20 years ago. Like if you were on an island when you were in Toronto and you had to do even guys that were doing spectacular stuff were still overlooked a lot. And
well, it's funny. I tell this story all the time. I don't know. I told you guys when I was a rookie in 2001, when the Flyers were playing the Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup, and Game 7 was happening in Toronto, and I was in the bullpen. And during the game, they put on Game 7 on the big screen during our game and put on the whole game, the entire game. While we were playing the game, I was like, "This is," and I thought it was cool because I'm watching the Flyers play, but I'm like, "This is unreal." The middle of the Blue Jay
baseball game.
So it's like baseball's never been number one, it's hockey. It's hockey. I mean, they're diehard hockey. But when the Blue Jays are good,
definitely
the
has
fans are
gotten
pretty
better.
nuts. Yeah, for sure.
2015, Jose Bautista flipped the script on a lot of that, and then a Josh Donaldson MVP performance, the crazy talent we had on that club. There's a reason there's literally murals.
Now
on
I
the
looked at the
street.
stadium the other night when I was
Right
so
now.
I was like, they're packing it in. That's
and
awesome.
they're talking everyone that I'm peers with, whether they're baseball peers or not, everyone's talking about the Jays right now. And they know that I do this, so I get a lot of people, like friends, texting me, asking me questions.
You and I both.
Thing, big ups to Jamie Lawson and Cam Graham and all those guys that keep me on the rails asking questions for you guys. But yeah, I mean, it's fun right now. I mean, I think win, lose, or draw right now, the Jays, this is going to be a very good season for them, fan-wise, player-wise, there's all kinds of good stuff that can come with a season like this. And I mean, my hope is obviously that they roll through and at least get into the second round or get past that. But they've got the team, they've got the talent.
One win.
Yeah, they just, they just need to put it all together. And we see it sometimes. They blow teams out of the water and you're like, how are they so dominant?
Right.
Yeah.
But it's be hot at the right time.
The thing that they've got going for them right now that's different than any other team, well, not any other team, but a lot of the teams, is that they have that comeback in them. Like they have the never quit, the never die. It doesn't, like the other night they were losing 6-0 or 5-0 in the first when Bieber was pitching. And I was like, that's not over. I mean, there's a lot of baseball still to play. And then it was home run, home run, home run.
Yeah. I don't hear a fat lady.
They're right back in it. And you're like, the cardiac kids. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys called back up Loper Fido. He's a local guy here. I know his uncle really well. I used to do camps at his gym. And Loper Fido was probably 5 years old when I did those camps. But I see he's in the big league. That's pretty amazing. He's gonna have
a great career, I think, in front of him. He's got all the skills. He's just got to put that last cherry on top of it to be an everyday player. I think. He's a little blocked right now in our outfield is the other catch. So it takes somebody, unfortunately, like Bo getting IL'd to.
That's what it takes sometimes. Somebody get hurt. I mean, that's got me to the big league. Somebody got hurt. Lance Painter went on the DL. I'll never forget it.
When they sent him down a few weeks ago, he was batting 380, I think. During that time frame that he was with
all
the
about
Jays,
service time. That's the business side. They don't.
Right.
You have options. You're out of here.
Yep, you got it. So we do have one comment in here about the spending money piece and the difference between where you were at. The Blue Jays are now a 5, easy top 5 spending.
I don't know how that. I mean, they're top heavy though with players. So like Guerrero, Springer, and who else is getting paid a lot right now? I mean, I don't mean what they don't spend.
At least, yeah.
I'm curious if they go out and get someone in the offseason, like a big name free. I've never seen the Blue Jays do that.
No, I mean, we keep the rumors. We had playing games.
Oh yeah, they tried to get. They almost had Alonso, but again, that's where we talked about. I think we talked about last podcast. People probably realize, but if you're making that much dollars, the double tax you get taxed in Canada and in the U.S. as an entertainer.
Yeah,
I remember looking back at my tax returns, and it was like. It's a big chunk of change, and that kind of dollars. I don't know about that, but like when you're making $100 million, I mean, it's a big decision. It's like if you're playing Canada, or if you have other options, you're going somewhere else. You'll make way more amount of money, and that's where it's tough for Toronto. I mean, it's not easy. That's why. I mean, it's funny. I just saw there's a documentary coming out about the Montreal Expos and the fall of the Expos. Did you see that coming? I don't know why
I saw the trailer.
I want to watch that because. I'm always curious about behind the scenes. I know so many guys who played with me. We played against them there last year. But I think in Canada and why the Expos went down. And then, it's Toronto's such a good market for just in general. It's a great city. I mean, you had to have a team there.
We talked about expansion a little bit last episode because of the rumors
I saw that
come out. The fact that the Expos might not be on that list was
they're not going to be. They're not going to bring another team to Canada.
Hungry for baseball in that
they
town.
Should.
They're very hungry. They want something to own, and I don't blame them. And I do feel like that got stolen from them a little bit. They were the best team in baseball in 1994, and it wasn't even a close comparison. They were just steamrolling everybody.
Yeah,
they might have been
on that team.
Yeah, he was. They could have been one of the best teams in baseball history, the pace they were on when the strike happened. We might have been talking about the 1994 Expos being the best record in baseball, just like you talk about the 2001 Seattle Mariners were the best team in baseball, record-wise. So, who knows?
I know.
All right.
Baseball. All right.
Let's pick some winners.
Yep. We're at that point here, Jason, where we got the hour here. Thanks for everybody for listening. 100 of you almost in the chats and whatnot.
100. Wow, you guys are blowing up.
Yeah, we actually we hit our new record.
Oh, and we're an hour early, Bob. If we keep here, it'll be we've had them up at like 600, 700 lives. Yeah, it's been nuts.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep.
All requesting more Bob File.
Yes.
Hey, whatever I can bring to the table. You want some more stories? I got some great. We didn't talk about the guy.
Well, you have to come back.
The cross up.
You have to come back.
Oh, you got the cross up. I would love to hear your thoughts on the cross up, though.
Dude.
Yeah. Jason, you got time, or you want me to do the fix the click and you can run
Jason's
away?
Like, I'm so tired.
I'm not that tired. This is our only night off for the whole week, and so my kids just got home. One kid just got home from baseball academy. The other one's hurt. I got to deal with dinner. I can ring it quick here if you want.
I got it, Jason. Don't worry about it. I'll get Bob's story out of it. You go hang with the kids. My daughter's 15 and hates me and back in.
Well, then I got to pick. I got to pick my picks to click then.
Yes. So on that note, let's talk the best week in Blue Jays baseball as far as our players are concerned. Last week, the picks were in no particular order here, but I'm just going to list them off. We had George Springer, Vladdy, Kirk, and Addison Barger. I'm going to go to the videotape, I think, but I think I can't compare when somebody is having one of the most ridiculous 6-game hitting streaks on the planet here in Vlad Jr. You see what he's done over the last week? He's batting .612 with 2 home runs. So I think I'm going to circle Vladdy as much as I didn't want to give Liz another W because now she has got 8 on the season, Jason. You got to guess up. You're the only chance we got.
She only picks 2 players. She goes Vladdy, Bo, back to back to back.
She had Kirk the last 2 weeks before Vladdy again. So,
she's not
anyways,
casino down in Vegas. She's just
Meanwhile, my numbers and the guest spot are pretty much identical at this point. Oh, sorry, they are 4 and 4. Liz has got 8 wins. You got 6 in this wonderful establishment we have. We really only got 3 more weeks, but obviously the longer the Blue Jays go into the playoffs, it's going to keep going.
Yep.
We got bonus baseball on the baseball. So on that note, Mr. File, you are our guest. So who is going to have the best week in Toronto Blue Jays baseball, which will include tonight's game too?
Barger?
You want to go Barge?
I saw some highlights of him the other day. I was wide. I was like, who is this guy?
Do you know what his nickname is, Bob?
No, what is it?
Bam Bam.
That's great.
I know.
Barge.
Great.
I was trying to get Captain Jack going because he's freaking monstrous as far as I'll say amount of muscle that is on that man's frame, but it's very good. I love the hurricane like swing that he has. Is somehow still
very Vladdy Senior.
Yes.
So, Jason, who you got?
Well, I've gone back and forth on this one because I keep going to the old man Springer because I like him and I'm old, so I keep doing that. But I think I've got it. Yeah, what is he, like 39?
I know. What I mean. Is he 39?
Yeah, or 38, 37. He's old. But I am going to go back to center field to my often made fun of and not supportive of Dalton Varsho. I love him now.
There it is.
He's underdog. He is my Kevin Kiermaier.
Dalton Varsho still got more home runs per at bat than most people in Major League Baseball. It's insane what he has done this year.
Insane. And how about the catches yesterday? 3 off the wall. Like, come on.
I think we might have to start calling catches part of it if we're going to include him in that whole thing too.
Maybe.
So
I'll take it. I need the wins.
Yeah, and so with Bo Bichette down, unfortunately. I'm going to run with a guy I just always liked, and I love rooting for these kind of guys because he's just so easy to root for. I'm going to go at IKF.
Oh, bold.
So he's going to play. Him and Ernie Clement are going to be in the lineup every stinking day. And after going from a team like Pittsburgh, where he knew going in, he just needed to play, wanted to play Major League Baseball, there's always that chance something brilliant could happen and you could run with a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates did. But there is something knowing that that team was not going anywhere after so long in this season. And all of a sudden joining a team like the Blue Jays, you can see it on his face, that interview, everything. There's a rejuvenation thing going on with IKF, but I just can't help but get behind, I guess. So anyways, so back to default, because Liz has had her company function. We got to give her the wonderful, who is the worst starter in Blue Jays baseball from last week. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, but it kind of looks like it might have been Alejandro Kirk for the last 7 days.
Wow.
Which is saying something. So
his average has dropped quite a bit. I looked at today. I was like, wow, he fell off. This is the last time I talked to you guys.
I think it's the amount of play. He needs a week off.
I would be not shocked if Heineman's trending in the direction of getting a few extra starts over the last.
I would even be opposed to throw Varsho behind the dish if you needed to. I mean, he is a catcher.
He was a catcher. So just don't know if you want to jack it up this time of the year with the pitching staff. I think this gentleman might know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there you
go. But anyway, Mr. Springer Dingers, if you want to run off, I will get the grilling for the cross up here from Bob.
Bob, let me be clear. I think it was about the most cowardly thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And if I was that catcher, I would have kicked that guy's ass in the change room. Like,
I've seen it happen.
He turned his back. He was getting a ball in the back of the head. Like,
I've seen it happen before too.
For anybody that wasn't in the room last week when we were chit-chatting on this with you, me, and Liz, the Houston Astros Framber Valdez was told to stop, don't do it, with the bases loaded. And I think Anthony Volpe was at the plate. I can't remember. Anyway, grand slam, gone into the Crawford boxes in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Next
Trent
pitch.
Grisham.
Trent Grisham, that's right. Mm-hmm. So after the home run, Valdez decides to, what appears to be, just to purposely cross up his catcher. You can definitely tell he was definitely looking for something a little off speed. And he pipe bombs that thing right down the plate, catches him right in the chest protector. So not the funnest things. And then the fact that you would think that it would have been one of those, oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. He didn't even look at him, turned right around, walked right back to the back, picked up the rosin bag, didn't make eye contact. Seemed a little malicious. Bob, in your wonderful tenure as a major league and minor league baseball player, do you ever see anything weird like that?
Well, yeah, I did. In Double A, I think of one time in Double A where it was a Latin pitcher. I won't mention his name, but very hot-headed guy. Gave up a bomb after shaking a couple times and shaking, and he kept putting down. The catcher was a pretty hard-headed guy. He played in the big leagues, and gave him a bomb, and then the same thing happened. Drilled him. Actually, I think it missed the catcher and drilled the umpire. Like, it was pretty awful. And I remember Rocker Brewer was our manager, and he went ballistic, and he might have pulled him from the game right away. And but I saw it a couple times, but that one time I distinctively remember, because this is the same pitcher that I got more stories about. This guy pulled out a knife on a guy on a bus because he took his seat. I was like, oh my God, in Double A, he's going to stab him because he took his seat. I was like, what is going on here? But management, coaches never found out about that incident, but players all knew. But anyway, yeah, I've seen it happen. But here's the thing. The whole pitch com thing, I don't buy it. It's not a cross up. You don't cross people up with the pitch com. You just can't. It doesn't happen. Like, that eliminates cross ups. The only time I've seen it this year with the Phillies, I seen it with the Phillies where if it at one time, I remember at JT, there was like, you could tell it was a malfunction. They were doubling up the signs, like, and he's putting signs down, and it happened. But I think there was confusion, and so I was like, all right. But otherwise, the pitch com, there's no excuse. It's it definitely was the case for sure. The guy was pissed off, which is just lame. It's terrible. I mean, it really is. Now, again, that's from an outsider looking in too. You don't know the relationship between the catcher and the pitcher. I mean, I've thrown to some catchers, one in particular that I won't mention that I could not. I mean, he was the worst. He would just, game was out of hand, he would just put down ones right down the middle just because he was just trying to get, like, it would drive me nuts. This guy was a veteran catcher, and I'm like, you kidding me with this guy? So I could see, but I don't know if that's the case here. But with the pitch com, there's no, you can't say I crossed them up. Like, I don't know how you cross somebody out with the pitch com. I don't know how it happens. So that's where I was like, oh wow, this story's cool. This is wild. But again, I don't know both players enough to know.
That seems really rough.
And I don't know either player, so I can't say, like, are they veterans, both of them? There's one young guy.
Catcher.
Oh, it's a rookie catcher.
Yeah, but he's supposedly
more
better
lame.
one.
Well, yeah, it's even more lame though. Like, if it was a rookie pitcher, he'd be gone. So the pitcher must have been around for a while but again, there's, I'll tell you what, all the Latin players, all the guys from like Venezuela, Dominican, they have a whole nother gear in terms of competitive that, like, growing up in the US, like, this competitive guy, but it's a whole nother world. Even playing down there in Venezuela, I mean, it's a whole different world. These guys, it's baseball or die. And when they get, fired up, some of them just can't control their own anger. So I don't know, but that was wild.
I've seen that, unfortunately, in slow pitch softball.
Yeah, slow pitch
Game
softball.
7 of the World
you
Series.
see brawls in slow pitch softball where guys literally fight in the parking lot. Well, I mean, yeah, but it's unfortunate. But my whole thing is with the pitch com, you can't cross up anymore. You can't even really. It's funny. I don't even know how well they steal signs now. Like, I saw the Yankees doing it the other day. I don't know who went against you guys with Scherzer pitching. I saw that the other day, and I was with Scherzer pitching. Like, he must not have saw what he was doing. He must not have picked it up, because I swear Scherzer would have hit somebody.
I was wondering if he was picking up on how he was holding.
I think it was
the
catcher. I think the catcher. I was looking. I rewinded to YouTube, and I saw the catcher moving his feet early on breaking balls, and he would stay still in the fastball and just move his glove. I think it was the catcher he's picking up on. That's what I think. But if Scherzer, a guy like that on the mound, I mean, Scherzer's a veteran that's been around, like, before the game changed completely. And I think he would have just drilled somebody. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, but I thought that was interesting. But I don't blame teams in that regard. It's not like the Houston Astros banging on trash cans, like, take a tech, and, like, he's just seeing something from second base, and hey, that's the pitcher and catcher need to get together and fix that. I mean, I would do the same thing. But you got to be Judge was putting his arms out like a bird. I'm like, a little more discreet about it, maybe, like, have some kind of, like, head tap or something, like, when you're doing your arms out, like, come on.
And that's why I don't think it was premeditated. And Jason, you're on mute. But as far as it's knowing, that's why I thought it was like he just happened to pick up on something. It wasn't that he was stealing, because
that's what it was.
It was just one of those things, trying to relay something. We used to do that in freaking high school baseball and college, so it can't be too different. Go ahead, Jason.
I was going to say, and Jazz Chisholm was like doing this as he's leading.
Yeah. That was the other one. Yeah. But hey, if you're on second, you see something.
Yeah, why not?
It's fair game. That's part of the game, But again, it's up to the team. And somebody on the bench just said timeout or whatever. I don't know. Can you call time anymore? I don't even know. But like, kind of, kind of gets people together and be like, listen, somebody's tipping something. We got to figure it out quickly. And but yeah, I thought it was
especially
interesting
how they jumped out in that game. There was something.
Yeah. Yeah. You see the swings every time he put this in. I saw the guy batting who had the lefty, and he was taking hacks, and he was on everything. I was like, yeah, he knows what's coming.
And that right there is how the Yankees have spelled success, because they have found ways to, when they win, they crush home runs. The rest of it seems like if they don't hit home runs a little bit, they have a rough time, at least since the meteoric rise that they had at the beginning of the season, where they jumped out to this giant lead. But who knows? So anyway,
we're great to see you, Bob.
20 minutes over. Jason, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Bob, is there anything you would like to close out with and just have a last minute?
No, I'm looking forward to meeting with you guys again in the playoffs when the Blue Jays are playing the Phillies. That'd be kind of fun.
Damn right. I do think that is a very.
I guess it would be the World Series. Never mind. They don't cross over. I was thinking maybe
that would be a nice rematch. So Phillies, Blue Jays,
93. That's junior year of high school. I'll never forget.
Yep. Still, that's probably where my Blue Jay fandom got solidified, was that World Series period, because we won one, but I was, younger, and my mom yelled at me and my brother to go to bed. You got school tomorrow, go to bed.
Yeah.
And my dad, being the Blue Jay fan and good sports enthusiast as he was, he goes, Ricky Henderson, just walk.
Yeah, they were stacked too. They had such a good team. The Phillies were so overmatched in '93. They were so overmatched, but they
had such a good team though. They that was a team of literally from last to first.
You talk about slow pitch softball. It looked like a slow pitch softball team. Like they're even Danny Jackson. I mean, the guys they had on that team, it was like lightning in a bottle. And for a town like Philly, I mean, it's a team that's never forgot. I mean, even John Kruk does the broadcast now. He's great.
Yes.
He's so good. Oh, it's so fun. It's so good because he just is himself, and he just tells stories. It's really cool. So
I heard the story of his retirement lately, and he was playing with the White Sox at the time. And I think it might have been part of the podcast. Yeah, is that where he told it?
Yeah, he told it on air because I was like, he just walked off the field.
He got his last hit. Batted 300.
He walked off. He just walked off. He said, "I'm done." I'm like, what are you doing? We need a pitch. He's like, "I'm done." He walked right off. How great is that? Good for him.
Which is so Crucky.
It is. It's so him. I mean, it's I mean, even a guy like him, he bat over 300 every. I mean, I don't know. I think average is. It's a shame. It's going by the wayside a little bit because you look at guys like Bichette, Vladdy, Trey Turner. Like, look at these guys. They're putting up, and they're only batting like just over 300. There's not like they're batting 340, 350. Like, and look at the seasons they're having. Like, there's something to it. Like, you put the ball in play, you're going to have a successful year. I mean, the home run's great, but even if you hit, like Bichette probably has like 20 bombs, right? Like, I mean,
oh yeah, he's running to 20.
Yeah, so all you need to do is hit 20, 25 home runs and have a 3+. You're going to have,
almost 20, but he's got almost 100 RBIs already.
But even that, like bat over 300, he's going to have close to 20 home runs just by default with a long season. You're going to get into some.
The fact that the Blue Jays have
300.
3 hitters that are right around 300. Bo's at 311, Vladdy's at 303, and to your exact point, George Springer just south of that at 290.
And look at that. And they're in first place. I mean,
and having one of the best seasons of his career, George Springer. That's a success story you got to get behind. There was literally people in spring training, Bob, trying to say, "Why is he here? Cut his ass."
He was a stud. I remember I was coaching at LaSalle University, and I was talking to a scout guy who played against Eric Valent for the Phillies, and he was going to Connecticut to watch Springer. He played at UConn, right? And he's like, "There's this guy named Springer. He's one of the best players in all of baseball." And he's like, I had to drive all the way up there. He's all annoyed because he had to drive up there to see this guy because he's going to be a top 5 pick. He's going to be a superstar in the big leagues. I remember this like yesterday. I'm like, George Springer. So I looked him up online. I was like, this guy's a stud at UConn. And lo and behold, he's been in the big leagues forever. And he's just, I mean,
first round draft pick, first pick.
Oh, he was the first pick. There you go. See?
Yep.
Yeah. So it was, there's, the top picks, they don't get those wrong many times.
Nah, it's all good. And it's amazing how even on that note, like you said, they don't get them wrong very often, but the ones that do, it's like they're always in the where are they now category.
Yeah, right. So all right, Johnny man. Football. Well, I need to put my daughter to bed and
appreciate it as always, my friend, and we'll catch up soon. And obviously, I will let you know all about all the other side stuff that we have talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Keep me posted, and hopefully, fingers crossed because Blue Jays are American League, so I can kind of watch 2 teams at the same time. Hopefully, they both go far, so it makes it interesting.
It's good. I'd love to have you back here for the World Series show. We'll have we'll
I'll come up to Toronto for the World Series show. We'll come live. I'll come to Toronto. That would be great.
Game on. Find a bar, find a few beers, goof off.
Yeah. Shit, we'll go to the game. I'll get tickets. We'll go to the game.
Even better, my friend. So always happy to have you. We'll talk soon. Thank you very much for everybody that has hung out around the whole hour and a half here. We got plenty of you still in the chat. Thank you for the comments. Make sure you join us next week. We haven't announced the guest yet because I don't have it confirmed. But the following week, we have our new friend from TikTok, a wonderful baseball mind. Brooke knows ball. So Brooke is one of the better random people I've stumbled onto on the internet, and holy shnikes, wealth of baseball knowledge. I
Cool.
cannot say enough good things about these stories that this young lady finds and gets to talk about on content. So wonderful stuff.
Cool.
She'll be on the show in 2 weeks, and we will talk all things Toronto Blue Jays baseball then. Thank you again. Cheers. And as always, go Blue Jays.
Thank you for listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC, and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider donating to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!